Sorry about that. I demand that you leave at once, sir. You are breaking and entering. Dry up, Dursley, you great prune. Mind, I haven't seen you since you was a baby, Harry, but you're a bit more along than I would have expected, particularly round the middle.
I'm not Harry. I am.
Well, of course you are.
Respond to your post
and they're going to be wrong.
Yeah. And I'm like, it takes literally 3 seconds to go on Google and just look up whatever you're asking.
Kayla,
you get what I'm saying?
You understand that these are the same people that are like, share if you love Jesus. If you don't share, the devil is watching. Like,
actually,
one like equals one prayer.
Smash.
There's an AI generated picture of like a small child,
like crying or something.
Yeah.
As Jesus holds him.
The internet is so trash.
Well, they shut down Quora, so they can't go to Quora anymore, and that's where all the people ask like the dumbest questions, like, I don't know, like, can I drink vodka when I have 3 months pregnant? Question mark.
How do you not know what Quora is?
What is Quora? What is that?
That is how you get all of your questions that you're too embarrassed to ask other people answer.
It's like
so Google?
just a question asking site. It's literally like a message board where you just ask whatever question.
It's like Reddit, but for questions.
Okay. See, whenever I'm asking like actual questions, I'll go to Reddit because I feel like people on Reddit, for the most part, know what they're talking about.
You just need to find that guy that had that exact same question 5 years ago.
That's what Quora is, yeah. But it's really good for like math problems.
Is this lump in my armpit cancer?
Yeah.
Specific. I don't have a lump in my armpit. We're all good.
Okay. Well, I think I used to use it for like very specific physics questions because I'm awful at physics. So
Quora?
it would be like I would type into Google the exact question prompt in college, and then like someone would have already asked it in Quora, and then I could know how to do the problem.
And now you can just AI everything.
Yeah, you know what was great?
Pass all your classes.
Kids just need to do AI now. You had to find a class that was online that also had a Quizlet based on the book that you had in class.
Yeah, or Spark Notes.
Then you don't have to do
something.
anything.
No, you don't even understand. So let me tell you the story about how a professor launched a police investigation against my class.
What?
So when I was taking neuroscience, apparently in the syllabus, there was a rule that you weren't allowed to use Quizlet, which I'm pretty sure you can't legally just be like, you can't use this resource.
Yeah.
Well, the reason being is she used the same midterm year after year.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole final was on Quizlet, and we were allowed to make like a cheat sheet, like a note sheet. Well, apparently, instead of typing it, some dumbass girl, like behind me, I'll never forget it. She was behind me. And she's like, oh, because we had to turn in our note thing. They had to turn in the printed off Quizlet questions because that was what they were using as their notes. So after the final was done, we get an email. And this is like also like you're about to enter grad school. This is like a really pivotal time for us. And the professor is like, I wish I could have ended this semester on a positive note. However, like it's come to my attention, people are using Quizlet, which is strictly forbidden as per stated in the syllabus. Like I will be contacting the UWPD.
Dang.
I know, it was crazy.
He really cared about his job. Most professors don't care, is what I've learned.
She was intense, to say the least. But
My least favorite professor in hindsight was the one that wrote her own book, so we paid $300 for just literally a stack of papers that wasn't even bound.
I had a history professor
That's criminal. I should have contacted the Mankato police. Literally, just
Oh boy.
200 printed pages.
I had a professor that her son was on American Ninja Warrior, and so we would sit there and watch his videos like constantly. I never got any work done in that class.
Was that at North Penny?
No, that was at Bethany Lutheran.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
You know what people use Reddit for as well?
Porn.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
That's not where you were going?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
sorry.
I was going to say there's a lot of Harry Potter like fan groups on Reddit.
Oh!
Segue
Wow, that was a great
into
transition. So
our
natural.
topic of today. We are starting our Halloween special.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we're not doing like mainly horror related stuff. We're kind of doing stuff that kind of reminds you of just the fall time and Halloween in general. So we thought it would be a great idea to do Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. One of Kayla's favorite movies, probably.
Oh, for sure.
It's one of my favorites too. Michael has never seen it. So yeah, let's jump right in.
Okay, I'm going to do an intro. I'm trying to do a new intro for like our special guests when we have them on. So
Sure.
Kayla, let me see if you approve of this intro.
Okay.
Welcome to the J.K. Rowling Defense Podcast, the podcast where we say, okay, you've got us on the trans stuff, but can't she beat those gold goblin allegations? Does Kayla enjoy this one? For the listeners, her face says no.
I hate when you do this to me.
We can never not give you a hard time whenever you come on here. Like,
I was like, an intro's not necessary. I think your people should know me at this point.
yeah.
I'm a repeat offender.
So is J.K. Rowling. So
Oh my god. No. Yeah, we don't support JK. It's hard. Art versus artists, which I'm usually pretty like, if you fuck the artist, you fuck the art. Like, but God,
you know
this
what?
is
In
just
this day
such
and
a
age,
huge
we
part
should have
of-
we should learn how to do that, to distinguish the two. You know, because there's just so many. You think of like R. Kelly, Kanye West, Bill Cosby.
The line's going to be different for different people.
Yeah, that's
It
that's
is.
very true.
Well,
That's very true.
and it's so hard when it's like so transformative, right? Like Harry Potter is probably easily one of the largest franchises in the world that has impacted.
I would say
so
it's
many
like
lives.
it goes Star Wars and then probably Harry Potter, and then maybe like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know?
J.K. Rowling's heel turn is like if we heard the man behind like Mickey Mouse and all our favorite Disney cartoons was like a big freaking racist and hated the Jews.
Whoa!
It'd be like that.
He was.
I mean,
That's the
whoa.
joke. Kayla.
Walt
I
Disney.
was a little concerned for a second.
No. Yes, Walt Disney,
he
big
was
time racist.
he was a racist. Do you not know this?
No, I did.
Oh.
Michael's facial expressions aren't like.
Aligning with what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I was a little like, he's really on the nose for not.
He's just
knowing.
he's so natural with sarcasm.
That's
It's
the
just not
fucking
even funny.
issue. That is exactly what it is. And I'm like someone who's like, is that sarcasm?
Well, I mean, I've known this guy for almost 15 years, and so it's like
same.
I still can't tell all the time. Anyways, yeah, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Kayla, can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with the film and or the books?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first book was the first novel that I ever read. And I have distinct memories of my mom and I trading off chapters as a bedtime story every night. I went through a pretty big Harry Potter phase. So I had like decor in my bedroom. I'm a Gryffindor. My wand is cherry wood and my Patronus is a Manx cat.
Nice.
So I feel pretty connected to the world. I will also say, like, there's Potterheads, and then there's like me, who's like pretty steeply below them. Like I didn't feel as gung-ho about everything. Like I didn't have like Harry Potter notebooks, and you know, that wasn't really the vibe, but I think it was my introduction into fantasy and like the worlds of having other worlds. And the thing about Harry Potter that was so unique was like it straddled, you know, the Muggle world, which is like the human world, and it kind of gave this this sense of like there's magic even here.
Yeah.
So love it. It's formative for me. I even appreciate it more as an adult, I would say. Like, my sister and I have really bonded over Harry Potter.
Yeah.
She wasn't a big Harry Potter person. It was too scary for her. As an adult, she, like, rewatched, and she's like, oh, this shit slaps.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, my God, let's connect and bond over this.
Have you read all the books?
Ooh.
Well, all of the main line. Like, did you read the Harry Potter series?
Why'd you have to ask this question?
You don't.
So here's the thing.
Are you a fake fan?
I kind of am, because I am someone who struggles to, like, if I can predict what's going on, I struggle to finish the book. And so I got stuck on Prisoner of Azkaban. And then they started coming out at too high of a rate for me to, like...
Well, that's the thing. There's like
catch up
9
with.
freaking books, so... Right?
Yeah.
Because
But, like,
then there's
my
like the
yeah.
blood... The Curse
Half-Blood
of Half-Blood Prince, and then the newer one.
Deathly Hallows. The newer one...
Isn't there a new... The Cursed Child or whatever?
Yeah, that's...
I heard that was isn't that a stage play?
Yeah,
Cursed
it
Child?
is,
It is
but
also
I
a
thought
stage play.
it was a book first. But
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not 100% sure how those relate. But yeah, my dad like finished the books. And I want to finish the books. I just got stuck.
She's like Tolkien, where she just keeps adding ancillary. Well, that's a tough word. Ancillary.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because
Like
like it was
subject
like the
matter to-
Silmarillion after
Yeah.
the original Lord of the Rings.
Because she has all kinds of posts on like Pottermore, right, which is like the website where she
Yeah.
would also have
Yeah.
additional stories of like this is what's happening in the wizard castle
Well, I
over
know
in Japan or whatever.
Tolkien was like, it was more so like for him, it was more just lore. It wasn't like a actual like contained story.
Add on, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for her, but
Well, I think a huge part of that was just like the wild success of the movies too, right? So you have like the Curse of Grimswald. What is that called? What are the Fantastic Beasts?
Fantastic
I've
Beasts,
never seen
yeah.
Fantastic
I've
Beasts.
never seen those either.
Like, it doesn't mean that I don't love Harry Potter. It just didn't feel relevant to
yeah.
the
Well,
story that I know and love, I guess.
As Star Wars fans, we know sometimes your favorite franchise just will never die and will have things, and
Yeah.
at some point you don't need to like keep up on all those things.
Yeah.
There's the
Right.
things that you love,
Yeah.
and you can just let some of the rest of it pass you by,
Yeah.
because it's not relevant to you anymore.
No, that's a great point. I would say for me, I came into the Harry Potter game pretty late. I honestly just watched all of the movies maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh, so good.
And I kind of fell in love with it. The first movie is just so magical.
Yeah.
There's really not much like I just, it's really hard to kind of comprehend. My fiance really loves these movies as well. And it was kind of hard to explain just like the feelings you get from it. And then also the fact that you grow up with these characters. And I never got the chance to actually grow up with these characters, so I can understand how some people are so diehard for this series. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even just like watching them in consecutive order, you're literally watching these actors grow up. It's kind of insane. And that they were able to make that work, because there's so much that goes into each and every film. There's just so much going on. There's so much going on. Kayla's getting emotional over here. No, I mean, I get it, though. Like, it's really kind of powerful storytelling. Mm-hmm. It's great. And the characters are amazing. And it's just a lot of fun. And it gets really dark sometimes, too.
It does.
Really dark. And I like that. Because as the characters progress through the story, as they get older, the darker the story gets.
Yeah.
And that kind of, like, goes hand in hand with their just coming into adulthood.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
I am the latest coming to the Harry Potter franchise. This is the only Harry Potter movie I've seen up to this point. I haven't read any of the books. They were banned from my household.
Yeah, I should have
from
said when I was younger, I couldn't watch any of these just because of my parents' religious
Yeah,
affiliation.
they were banned from my highly Christian and conservative household, so there was never anything I really took part in as a kid.
But Star Wars was okay?
I feel like Star Wars is a thing.
Space wizards, it's different.
Yeah, and a thing I had to fight for, and eventually was just kind of like, whatever, let Michael do his thing. And I didn't care that much about whether or not I got into Harry Potter, I guess. So I just literally for the first time, watched a Harry Potter movie like yesterday. I watched The Sorcerer's Stone. I don't know. I felt like a 30-year-old man watching, or nearly 30-year-old man watching a children's movie. and I thought, this is good. If I was in that time, if I was 7 years old watching this movie based on this book I just read, I bet it would give me all the things that I wanted.
Yeah.
But as me, the adult man, I was like, this is pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to watch 6 more of these.
Yeah.
But this was fun. Like, I see the charm. There's certainly plenty of charm. There's a lot of like positive notes to go with it. Most of my issues would come to do with just stuff that I think is inherent to being like a children's story, like the power fantasy of it all, which makes, Harry a little unrelatable.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it is pretty good.
It treads that, and this is kind of something that we bring up quite a bit, the special boy story.
Yeah, the special boy, which is one of my just least favorite tropes as I get older.
It's a trope that's been played out,
and this
so much.
This movie just starts with being like, Harry, you're so special.
Well, everybody's just glazing Harry the entire film.
I know.
But I think this is a good time to jump off to performance test. So
It was the performance of a lifetime.
let's get into it.
Oh, bro. How are we even going to do that?
Well, first off, rest in peace, Maggie Smith.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace. She just passed away this past week.
So,
kind of crazy timing.
yeah, because Michael, we confirmed the date for this podcast, and on the day we did that, she died.
Yeah.
So I texted Michael, I said, I think we killed her. Because I've been doing some weird manifestation shit. Like, weird things have been happening.
Don't think
So
it was
I
like
feel
the
like I killed
previous
her on accident.
92 years of her life that might have killed
She
her.
has been
89,
old
so.
my entire life.
I know. I feel like she was old in Sister Act, which was like 28 years ago, and that's what I'd recognize.
And
her
we
from mostly.
we just reviewed Hook, which
Yeah.
she was in that, and she had some old person makeup on, and she looked even older.
Yeah.
And I thought when I first watched that movie, I thought she was just 90 years old in
Yeah.
that film. But turns out she was a little bit younger than that. And she's a fantastic actress.
So good.
She's great, and she has an amazing voice, and she has this like kind of aura to her that just kind of feels warm, And
Warm and cold at the same time.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
she
is
can definitely
really
be-
that's perfect for Minerva,
Yeah.
Professor McGonagall, and yeah.
Head of House Gryffindor, right?
See,
Welcome to Hogwarts. Now, in a few moments, you will pass through these doors and join your classmates. But before you can take your seats, you must be sorted into your houses. They are Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Now, while you're here, your house will be like your family.
Since we're here, what house? You're the Harry Potter expert. What house? You can be the the divining hat, the
dividing.
what is it called?
it's just whatever the hat is.
The sorting hat.
Yeah.
That was really cute. That was funny.
The sorting hat. Sorting hat us into houses.
I feel like you would be Ravenclaw, Michael.
See, this is a house we didn't really get into this movie.
No.
It's all Gryffindor versus Slytherin, so I don't really know what that means.
You know what? I take that back. I think he's a Slytherin.
I don't think I'm Slytherin. I don't have dark enough energy to be Slytherin.
You don't. Time out. That's a misconception. You don't have to be evil to be in Slytherin.
Well, they're not evil, but I mean, if like
It's cunning.
kind of
Are you
they're
cunning and
kind of-
ambitious?
not really.
But if you're thinking
I'm
of like
hanging
Draco
out.
Malfoy, he's just like a really big asshole. So maybe Michael. Just kidding.
Maybe you're just both Hufflepuff. I don't know. Hufflepuff is known for being smokers, so
Hufflepuff.
yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
So honestly,
Got my
I don't
vape
know.
here.
It's fine.
Hufflepuff.
I don't know. I'm bad at sorting people.
Well,
That's
you-
why there's a hat for
Okay.
it.
Well, yeah.
You can take an online hat. You should do that.
Yeah, you should. Okay, new segment. This is Michael signs up for Pottermore, and he gets sorted into his house.
I was gonna beg you to not turn this to a completely off the rails, almost 2-hour podcast, like happened last time. But I don't think that's possible.
Sorry.
We just have
sorry.
good conversation.
I'm
There's
sorry.
nothing wrong with that. I feel like I really want to be Gryffindor, but it's probably not gonna happen.
I could see you be Gryffindor.
But then it's like I don't want to be like the special boy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
Why?
not a.
See, and I am the special boy. Like that's the type of story that resonates with me. Like a chosen one, sign me up. I want to be chosen.
I mean that's fair, but I feel like for me it would be like a cliche. I don't know.
I don't care if it's a cliche.
Yeah.
I want to be the special boy.
I was just shocked that Ron, Hermione, and Harry all ended up in the same house because they seem like pretty different.
Well, that's the magic of
personalities.
it, because like their inner souls, their magic, it was already connecting them. It was binding them as one unit. It's also for the service of the story.
Can we?
So.
Okay, can we talk about the performance of Daniel Radcliffe, and we can get into our children's cast maybe.
Good.
Daniel Radcliffe, good. I also want to say shout out to Daniel Radcliffe for being like one of those child actors that didn't just like fall off the wagon at the age of 22.
He's always been on it.
Like he's always
Yeah.
been like he kind of faded into the background a little bit. He's become more of like a production guy. He has a production company and he acts a little less frequently.
He's in Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so before this, he was in an adaptation of a Charles Dickens novel. I forget what it was called, but he was in that, and then right after that, he got casted as Harry.
But he does produce stuff. Like his production company is, I think, the one that is behind, Swiss Army Man, which he co-starred in, and then Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
His production company's behind that, so he's also a big producer. I didn't realize he was doing Broadway stuff. But my point is, he's not like the same megastar. Like he didn't just continue being like a megastar, but he also didn't like fall off the wagon in like a Haley Joel Osment, Macaulay Culkin thing, where it's just like in their 20s they like. And he's so famous for so long.
Well, I think him and Elijah Wood are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Because
I would
Elijah
say.
Wood was in another giant fantasy thing. And then, I mean, Elijah Wood kind of dropped off the radar too, but he's always been around at production company as well.
Yeah. Not as young.
No.
Wait, am I mixing them up? Is Elijah Wood the one in Swiss Army Man, or is it Daniel
No, it's
Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I confused them. But Elijah Wood wasn't as young in Lord of the Rings.
No,
he's like a
no.
young adult.
Yeah,
at
it's
that
my
time.
fault that the podcast is 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think that whole trio, just Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, they're just great. They have great chemistry together. And for child actors, not too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
should
was
watch
great.
like the behind the scenes like / documentary film where they reflect on their time. It's just like when I know that there's one with Emma and Tom Felton who plays Draco, and they like talk about like growing up together and oh my god,
Okay,
hurts.
how many movies is it? It's
technically 8 because there's 7 books and the 7th
but
book
the
is
seventh book
split
is
into 2
two
movies.
parts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deathly Hollows.
Alan Rickman as Professor Snape.
Bro.
R.I.P. as well.
All the and Hagrid and Dumbledore.
The original Dumbledore, right?
Correct.
Passed away, and then they
Replaced
switched.
him.
Is that guy still alive?
I'm unsure. I think he
Okay.
is.
The original Dumbledore was the better version as far as like his comparison to the books, I believe. That's what a lot of people's like kind of gripes are about this first film or the films after that.
Going-
Dumbledore felt like a completely different character.
Well, I mean, you know the whole, like, I think one of the biggest Harry Potter shticks, and I feel bad we're kind of getting away from book 1 here, but, like, in Goblet of Fire, it says in the book, like, Dumbledore calmly asks, like, Harry.
Oh, yeah. And in the
you
movie,
put-
he's like strangling
Harry,
him.
did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Like, grabs him by the throat.
He's like, when in the book, it's like he calmly approaches Harry. He's
Well,
like,
okay, and so that leads into a larger topic of like film adaptations.
Yes.
You're not gonna, just for the sake of it being entertaining, you can't
Yeah.
go complete in tangent with the books and stuff. And that's the
love
same with the Lord of the
Dumbledore.
Rings and different things like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to stray too far away from the.
yeah.
Overarching
performances, but-
on the acting and cast front, the fact that this movie, aside from their like main child cast, has just a cadre of the best British actors money can hire. Just bringing them
Literally.
it kind of saves the movie for me because all these side characters are very like well acted and thought out and
Fun fact:
by pros.
Robin Williams really wanted to play Hagrid, and that was the original casting, I believe.
He's hairy enough.
Yeah, and but he would have been that would have been a completely different character.
I love
Would've been-
this version
yeah.
of Hagrid by
Yes.
Robbie
Robbie
Coltrane,
Coltrane.
which is just a hell of a name.
Oh
Robbie
yeah,
Coltrane.
Yeah.
And the Hagrid effect, you know, we were talking a little bit about Lord of the Rings too. It feels very similar to, you know, all our time spent with the hobbits when we're doing all these tricks to make this person seem giant, and it's very seamless.
Yeah, it is.
And he's probably my favorite character. Again, only seen the first movie. I love Hagrid.
I think he's universally loved by everybody. Yeah.
His Also, like, you're like, is this a good guy? Because he shows up in Muggle World and immediately gives...
Like, kicks the door down.
The door down, is threatening everyone.
There's a whole home invasion.
Gives that one kid a pig's tail.
Okay, that kid deserved it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he deserved it, but also, I get the sense that J.K. Rowling hates anyone.
Do you recognize who that kid is?
No.
He was in the Coen Brothers film, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. He was the kid with all the no arms and legs.
That's the same guy?
Same guy, yeah.
Oh, he's also in the movie The Pale Blue Eye on Netflix.
I have not seen that.
It's a great one. Starring Christian Bale as the guy that wrote the Knock Knock Knock. What is that? The Crow or the Raven?
The Crow?
The
Edgar
Raven.
Allan Poe?
Yeah.
Oh, the Raven. Yeah.
He plays Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that movie was not that good.
What? The Pale Blue Eye?
Yeah. Or no. Was that the?
That's the one about
I've heard
Edgar.
it wasn't that great.
I liked it. It's good.
I hear
If you want to see a good adaptation of like The Raven, you should watch Mike Flanagan's Fall of the House of Usher.
Hey, if you want to watch The Crow, you should watch the 2024 Crow starring Bill Skarsgård.
I did watch that. It
As
was
a
terrible.
Hot Topic ad.
He looked like a SoundCloud rapper.
He literally looks like Lil Peep.
Do you know what we're
R.I.P.
talking about?
No,
Okay.
but I'm a huge I know of the Pale Blue Eye because I'm a big Poe fan. Like I just
Okay.
love Ravens too, and so like my sister recommended
Watch
it
The
to me.
Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix.
Okay,
It's really
I
good.
will.
Um,
Off the
Anyways.
rails. Hagrid's great. Robbie Coltrane's great. A
Ma-
great
yeah.
performance.
Yep.
They're all good.
Tom
Minerva's
Felton,
my favorite.
Draco
so.
Malfoy. Malfoy. Excuse me.
It's okay.
He's an asshole, and
But he's so good at being
he's
an
great,
asshole.
and he makes you hate him so much. You know, his performance kind of reminds me of. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Pieces of it.
Okay, there's a character named Joffrey.
Yeah, I know.
and
who you're talking about.
he reminds me of Joffrey a little
yes,
bit.
exactly.
See, like this kid prince.
Yeah, and he's that fucking douche.
But like also again, like he evolves into like you can see inner turmoil
Oh,
and stuff,
yeah,
right?
for
Like
sure.
it's kind of like a nurture versus nature thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the
oh
parental
my god,
aspect where his dad is also
Narcissa
just a douche.
and
Yeah.
I can't think of the dad's name. Malicious,
Something like along the lines.
I can't think of it.
He's got great hair though.
Yes, no,
Great hair.
and he always reminds me of Lord of the Rings when I see like there's so much
Looks like an elf.
crossover and stuff. He does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the platinum blonde, long hair.
I think we can
Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius, yeah.
Jeez, that was tough.
Yeah, I think we can thank Tolkien for a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
especially just in the fantasy
I mean,
realm.
fantasy has just kind of been spawned by
Yeah,
Tolkien.
I mean, it's the
anyways.
same with
Yeah.
the author of Dune. It's just like he inspired all of this stuff.
I like
really great.
Draco Malfoy because at the end of this podcast, I'm going to put on Big Draco by Soulja Boy as
be
our
great.
ending stinger.
Yeah, that's
Draco's a cool name, honestly.
oh yeah, Draco.
It means dragon.
Yeah,
Harry Potter versus Star Wars, which has cooler names? Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. For
In
sure.
Star
Easily.
Wars, it's like Baba Gook. Or
Yeah. You'd be like Dark Bad Man. That's what Draco Malfoy's
It's usually
name would
like
be.
a 3-syllable thing, like a in Star Wars,
Yeah.
you know.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Or it's like in like Marvel movies, it's like names that rhyme, like or starts with the same letter, Bruce Banner, or you know, just
Yeah.
It's just interesting. This is like they're just great names. The author,
Yes.
she cooked.
Okay.
She really did.
Speaking of Star Wars and Harry Potter,
Oh god.
Quidditch. Now this is pod racing.
Yes,
No.
yes,
It feels a lot like
the pod race scene.
the pod
Yes.
race scene where it's like this is the moment where all the kids get what they want and we just like do the thing.
Quidditch is a banger though. I like the game of Quidditch. I actually downloaded this game on my PlayStation. It's Quidditch Champions, and you play Quidditch, and it's pretty sick. And you get to choose your house and stuff. It's pretty sick.
Nice.
And
I
it's
play
fun.
Hogwarts Legacy.
I have Hogwarts Legacy too, and it's hard for me to get into it. It's really hard.
There's so much to the game.
Yes, it's almost
That
overwhelming.
it's daunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuck so I'm a quitter when I get frustrated and then I go back to it, but I just I take space and I'm stuck in a puzzle room.
Yeah.
And I cannot get out of this fucking puzzle room.
But I mean, the
and
world,
just
they
stop.
killed the world though. It really does feel like it's great.
Hogsmeade?
Fantastic.
Are you joking? I also, so let's talk more about no, we'll save it. Never mind. I'm a big Maggie Smith fan. I love McGonagall. Minerva was one of Maze's potential names. We had a joke in college. We'd say, "Get it, Minerva." I don't know why, but I'm a big fan of Minerva McGonagall.
My mom was really into Downton Abbey.
Oh, sure.
And Maggie Smith was a key character in that. So my mom felt this death. She felt it. She
universal
messaged me, showed me the picture.
Media choices are so interesting to
so
me. Because you're like, her favorite movie is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and her favorite show is Downton Abbey.
Yeah. My mom is like, my parents really love British stuff. And I think because my great grandma was British. And so I think that's just kind of in our blood. And so we kind of are drawn towards British stuff. I don't know how else to explain it. So it's kind of interesting.
Sure. It is interesting.
Do we have anything else for performance tests? I think we went through all the key characters.
I think Emma Watson is just so good as Hermione. Like,
yeah, she's fantastic.
Was that her launching role?
I
feel
believe
like it was.
for all of these kids, was kind of like the defining role of their career.
Yeah.
Ron, also a great character. He's a lot of fun. He's the goofball. He's kind of cowardly.
I feel like Rupert Grint got cast specifically for that little face he makes where he puts his mouth to the side.
Yeah.
That's like his whole character. They saw him do that and they were like,
that's
the
Ron.
one.
Yeah,
You've
for
seen
sure.
the meme where it's like, not for me, not for Hermione, yar.
Well, that's so. I told Michael, I said, I feel kind of bad because I didn't watch the movie because we rescheduled it earlier.
Yeah.
Which is great. But then I didn't get to rewatch it. But at the same time, I know everything about it.
In your
Right.
brain, yeah.
But all I could think about is the TikTok trend. Because I'm just on Harry Potter TikTok. So it's, for a while, people were doing the chess scene by heart. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, once I make my move,
that's where it is.
You're free to check the king.
Yeah.
No, Ron, no. What is it? He's going to sacrifice himself.
But he can't. He's going the other way or some shit.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, that's where that, not for me, not
Not
for
for
money.
money.
Yo. British accents are great.
God, that was so
Imagine
scary
waking
as
up
a
and
kid.
talking like that every single day.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I actually used to have such bad nightmares from Harry Potter that I had to go to therapy in second grade.
About
Fun
the
fact.
accents?
No, about Voldemort. I used to have dreams in the end scene where he's like,
Maybe you are the chosen one.
that's what I'm saying, bro. I've been trying to tell people, man. Yeah. Also, I don't know, does she get a lot of screen time in the first movie? I don't think so, but Molly Weasley is
Well, she becomes
such a great
a
character.
more key character
down the
road.
line, right?
Yeah,
So I just can't
especially
remember.
with
But
Harry.
if
Is that the mom?
she, not my daughter, you bitch. That's in the last movie, but
Yeah.
sorry.
Um,
Don't roll your eyes at me.
No. It wasn't at you. It was just me trying to gather my thoughts.
Oh.
I think we should move along.
Yeah.
Washing machine eyes.
To It's an Art Bro, where we talk about aspects of the filmmaking process, like sets, effects, lighting, music.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
Music. Can we talk about music?
John Williams back again.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even look up who it was.
Yeah, the music sells the whole thing.
So good. Hedwig's theme. Ugh.
Dun, 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 dun,
I have
dun,
chills.
dun,
Don't.
dun. Yeah,
There's a lot of soaring music in various scenes, like the scene where Harry, what does he do? Why is he breaking the rules of the stick flying lessons? Him and Draco have a whole face off, and it's about
just
something.
like a masculinity thing.
Yeah.
Or he's stopping Draco from doing something.
Well, I think Draco was just being an asshole.
Yeah. And
He's taken something from what's his name, Longbottom, I think.
Neville.
Neville.
He gets so hot as an adult.
Oh, really?
That was because he's supposed to be this quirky kind of,
Yeah.
I remember when he came back into the sphere and everyone's like, Neville? He got so hot.
You know who never really grows is Daniel Radcliffe. He just
I
stays the same
know.
height.
He really
the
does.
entire series. He's a very short guy.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. The music is fantastic. Not much to say about John Williams. We talk about him quite a bit, especially recently. The sets are amazing. And it's kind of hard because, okay, some of the CG is a little... Ugh.
It's older.
Yeah.
But if this movie was made in 2024, it would be the ugliest fucking movie you've ever seen. It would be just so filled with CGI garbage to fill everything all the time. And we have a big dining hall that's just legit.
That's the best. The best scene in the movie is when they
the Great Hall.
Yeah, it's when they do anything in there, or like the hat scene. That's fantastic. It sets up the world so nice, and the hat effect is a little stupid looking, but it's great. It's just a charm to it. It's not. And then just the Hogwarts itself, it feels so real and like world building.
Do they go to Hogsmeade in the first movie?
I don't remember.
They don't, but I can't remember. But I love Hogsmeade.
Yeah, Hogsmeade is great.
Have
you been to Harry Potter World in Florida?
Oh, yes.
The Hogsmeade is there. It's like everybody's favorite.
Have you had the butterbeer, man?
I haven't gone yet. We're planning on going soon.
Oh, so good. I actually got a wand from Ollivanders when I went.
I made butterbeer before.
Have you?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not hard. It's just cream soda and some butterscotch. That's the secret recipe.
I love butterscotch, so that's probably why I love butterbeer.
Yeah, but the world feels so alive, and they did a great job transitioning that onto film.
Hogwarts has a lot of nice details, but what it's missing is a sign that just says "Days since last incident" that they're constantly resetting because terrible shit is constantly happening at our Hogwarts.
Yeah. Well, I think it's supposed to be the school year, so it's kind of like these kids have been there for however long or whatever because it starts in the beginning. And I love all the ghosts that are
Headless
wandering
Nick.
around.
Yeah, this is what I mean about just having all the best British actors. They just have John Cleese doing a nothing part as Headless Nick as just like a gag, basically.
So good.
I love like all the paintings on the walls are like alive.
Talking.
And,
the grand staircase moving.
Yeah.
It's so magical.
Just
the so
background ghosts. Have you ever seen Doom Patrol?
I've seen like the first season. I don't remember anything.
In Doom Patrol, their mansion starts getting invaded by ghosts, but they're just constantly like having sex in the background. There's just like ghosts having sex in the background. That's what I thought when I saw John Cleese hanging out.
34 or whatever.
Yeah.
You thought about sex when you saw John Cleese?
No, I just thought about the last place I saw just like random ghost effects hanging out in the background of scenes that didn't matter. They were just like up against the ceiling humping.
Great.
It's a great show. Well,
that's wild.
The first 2 seasons.
Yeah. The some of the effects, like we were saying, a little dated. I think the worst effect in the movie is the troll scene. It looks.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It looks
I
so
literally
bad.
knew.
Disagree. I mean, the troll scene, it's aged, but the Quidditch is
the
like
Quidditch looks worse to you.
The Quidditch is like really video gamey. It's the thing where they do the digital double of the characters, but we are not to the point where the digital double feels seamless. They become these cartoon characters, and that's just a 2000s era thing. Like the same thing happened to the Matrix. The same thing happened to a lot of things that try to do similar things. Yeah. But to me, the Quidditch section. That's why I called it. Now this is pod racing because it just feels like I'm watching a bunch of effects, and then we cut to a set where people are going like, ah! You know?
Slytherin. Slytherin.
I mean, obviously, it gets better as the films progress.
Yeah.
This is forgivable for the most part.
It's 2001.
I think it has so much charm.
It
I
does have a
love
charm.
the troll scene. Yeah. Even troll in the dungeon.
I thought that scene looked god awful.
That hurts
and
me.
I think the what was I gonna say? I don't know. Yeah, that scene was bad, but it, like I was saying, it's forgivable. And like you were saying, there is a charm to it, and I think it's just one of those things where like they don't make movies like this anymore, kind of thing. Yeah.
I have a question about the Hermione's motivations in that scene where she takes ownership of like why the troll came there when it was really that one guy with the turban that reveals himself to be a villain at the end was responsible for the troll, but she like takes all the. I just didn't understand her motivation to take all the blame for that. You know, I guess maybe she was trying to offload it from Harry and. But they already know that Harry and Ron didn't release the troll.
I see what you're saying, where she's like, it was me.
But
like
it wasn't
that,
her.
Yeah, I think I have a complex answer. I think the easy part of it is she understands, like, this is setting up friendship, right? Because it's also pretty early in the movie, so it's setting up her like sacrificial, because they're very sacrificial for Harry throughout the series, because ultimately Harry has the final sacrifice, right? So it's like keeping the lamb alive, kind of deal.
I think that's the thing. Harry is kind of doomed from the beginning,
and people know that, right?
Just based on his lore, I guess. I mean, the whole thing on his forehead.
Which, like, as a child, like, if you think about that being, like, a real thing, right? That's crazy to, like, know that you are probably, like, gonna face this great conflict, probably not gonna live.
Yeah.
And the fate of everyone else rests in that. Like, someone so daunting, Voldemort. So performance test, he's not really in this one because this is like but Voldemort is so creepy. Like, he is such a good character, and this is such a good villain. And you feel his presence. I think that's I think that's the thing. Is like, it's always in the back of your mind, like, oh, there's this big evil. It's kind of, I mean, like Sauron, but I mean, in Lord of the Rings, you see Sauron from the beginning. You know what I mean? But with Voldemort, it's like, it's always like, oh, we don't say his name.
No, it's kind of like in Fellowship, where we don't really see Sauron, but we see the ring wraiths.
In
this, we see him in his like feral state in the woods the one time, and then we see him at the end, and it's kind of like, he's not achieved. He even says, like, I'm not in my bodily form. Like, I haven't achieved that yet. I don't know. I haven't seen the future movies, but Ralph Fiennes, I have complete confidence that I'm sure it's a great performance.
He's great when he's actually a full-fledged character. He's great.
So good.
Everything in this movie, it's just like we were saying, it's really magical, and it's really hard to replicate. And I feel like that's what a lot of the other movies kind of like. It almost ends up. It just doesn't have that same weight to it as this first film, the magic part, I guess, and that's going to happen when you have 8 other movies. You know what I mean? Where it's just like that magic kind of fades as you go.
The magic for us as the viewers,
and like that's why this movie for me, and this is why this is the one I wanted to do, was because it just sets up that world so nicely. And then you really feel that magic, and they still maintain that childlike innocence. Whereas, like, as they go, it gets a lot darker, and so the viewers are not as focused on the magic of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an easy watch, and it's like a stimulating watch.
Yeah.
Well, still calming, because it's also like, kind of like what we're saying. There's not all this technology to make it like,
and that's
crazy.
Why I think also I'm kind of in the minority where I feel like the Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite Lord of the Rings film, just because it feels like a book, and it feels like you're really getting to know these characters and just the world setup. And that's why I like Dune Part 1 as well. A lot of people don't like that film, but it's like you're just spending time in this world
and learning.
Explosions aren't going off constantly, and people aren't fighting, and it's just like you're just living in this place. And Harry is a catalyst for everything. You're seeing the world through his eyes, and it's the first time he's gone into this world as well. And so it's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
So I'm gonna hop on that and say my parallel to that's Hunger Games for me. Like, the first Hunger Games book and movie were my favorite, and that's I haven't read or seen the newest one of Songbirds and Snakes, something like that.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
But like, that's, to me, I was like, I would rather just watch Hunger Games 1 and then finish, because to me it's like you're learning about Katniss, you're learning about the dystopian culture.
That's also when the idea is still pure, and it's not like, wait, what do we do now? It's the Hunger Games again. We're doing it again now.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Harry Potter 1. You can only discover once. Same thing with Fellowship of the Ring. You can only discover once.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing the new discovery.
And then after that, it's just conflict after conflict after conflict. It's just your characters getting into other situations, and that's fine because that's storytelling. But
But I will also say, like, to that point, you haven't read the books or seen the movies. Like, there is a lot further discovery that is laid. There's groundwork laid. And something I've always kind of struggled with the first movie is I feel like the story complexes so much over time And sometimes it's kind of like, was this, because I know that JK at least claims that she had the whole from start to end.
Absolutely not.
There's no
Zero
way.
chance.
Right. So like with the whole like Elder Wand, Deathly Hallows story and tale, and when they have to go get the Elder Wand at the end, like I remember as a kid being like, okay, but there was no hint of this previous to it coming up right now. And I that's something I didn't like. I'm a big, like, I love foreshadowing. I love, like, this complex storytelling of there's little bits and pieces because I'm an investigative person. I love to catch on to those things.
Yeah.
And so when it's just like, oh, here, you're going to learn about this thing 6 books in.
Yeah.
You need it to defeat Voldemort is like,
Yeah.
Right.
why wasn't that, like, even if it would have been like the Deathly Hallow symbol was like on the thing to push to get into Diagon Alley, just something like a little breadcrumb, like give me a breadcrumb. And that's something I struggle with the first movie, but it's a problem because it wasn't in the books either, right?
Yeah, sure. No, that's a great point. Yeah, do we have anything else for It's an Art?
I don't think so. We can ask, hey, what are you trying to say?
Oh, really? How much? How much were they? $38.99. Okay, well, I'll have that then. All right, I'll take that. So I have the suit, I have the shoes, maybe a nice hat with a nice ribbon or a big handkerchief.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Oh, hey, I'm a guy who can wear a hat, huh? Oh, look at the tall freak. Probably can't fit a hat on that big, huge melon of his. Is that what you're saying? It's going to slip down over my head and down my little scrawny neck onto my shoulders, and I'll look like some cartoon character out of a Warner Brothers? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was.
I mean, it's special boy fantasy. So I think if you like really scrape down on the morals, which this would be bumping up against Let the Hate Flow Through You, it's like sometimes I wonder what it's trying to say, because it doesn't seem like, for instance, it's like, Harry, you're a special boy, and guess what? You're also rich too. You have all these gold coins.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
At the cost of his family, though.
Is this relatable?
I mean,
yeah, but he didn't know that. Like, the way he's discovering it, it seems like he has the moment later in the movie where with the mirror about being reunited with the family, but he didn't even, like, know that he missed that until, you know, Hagrid shows up and he gets, like, reintroduced to his whole backstory.
Yeah. I completely disagree. That's the whole point. He's the boy who lives under the closet. Like, he's a mistreated, basically orphan.
And if you didn't have that in the beginning, then yes, that your point is, you know, spot on.
Right, but they did.
They have it set up where it's like he wasn't anything before, and so he's in essence finding his purpose. And obviously that purpose is greater than most people's in the realm of this world or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's serviceable in that aspect where it's like he was, you know, mistreated by everyone, and he didn't feel that love because he lost his parents, you know, and so I don't know. I think it's warranted, but I get what you're saying for sure.
Well, I think the whole overarching theme is just like the power of good versus evil and friendship and like it's, you know, it is a kid's story, and I think that is a really great way to kind of say like how many freaking novels, books, fables are about friendship, are about good versus evil, about choices.
And that's the thing, it's accessible for children. So if these novels were aimed for adults, I would say it's a little tacky. But the audience it's children, and so you have to write a story that appeals to them. Every child wants to be special. Right? Also, every child wants friends that are loyal to them as well.
Most childs have a little bit of a victim complex where they'll be like, my life is terrible because of this, even if it's not objectively.
Right.
Parents do this and that, and you can relate to Harry locked under the stairs.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's the magic, right? Like when I read this, I was 6. Like I read Sorcerer's Stone when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And you see these complex themes, like I remember, so my dad and I, because my mom doesn't like fantasy and my sister was too scared of some of the like effects and stuff, which is valid. I mean, she's 4 years younger than me, but my dad and I went to see these movies, and then after these movies were done, we saw The Hobbit together. So we always kind of did these like fantasy dates, kind of like daddy-daughter like movie when I'd come home from college and stuff. But so we saw all the Harry Potters together, just me and him, and like I can say that just growing up with the characters again, like these themes got more complex and they got not so black and white. And I think that was something that was really magical as entering like my preteen years. And it's like this, there's a quote from Dumbledore in the later books where it's like, it talks about like a decision isn't necessarily like right or wrong, but it's like what you do with the decision. It's like,
so that parallels Gandalf, where he was like,
literally,
it's not what we, it's what was the quote? It was like, it's what we do with the time that's given to us, or it's not the content of somebody's character. It's what we do with the, or no, it's.
I know what you're.
It's really hard. I forget this quote, but you get what I'm saying. Where it's like it's Gandalf saying, and I think I quoted Martin Luther King by accident. But it's
really what America's Gandalf.
Yeah, no, honestly, but it's like what we do with the time that's given to us. You know, it's our actions that are most important. I found Gandalf's quote, and then Kayla, you had a quote after you said.
Yes.
So Gandalf's quote was, first it was Frodo speaking, and it was speaking to just basically the end of all things and his place in it. He said, "I wish it need not have happened in my time." And then Gandalf said, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us." And I think that's very relevant to the Harry Potter story as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I completely butchered this quote, so we're going to rewind and just, this comes from the second movie when we start to understand the true parallel, and this is like an ongoing theme, is like Voldemort and Harry are kind of one and the same, and that really gets in Harry's head a lot of like what makes me different from him, like, and that's the whole battle of good versus evil. And Dumbledore says again in Chamber of Secrets, "It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." Basically saying like you might have the ability to be bad or destructive, but like it is what you choose to do with your strength that determines your character.
For sure. Great quote.
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah. Michael, do you have anything to speak on?
So is there like a Star Wars thing happening in here where they are somehow tied for destinies?
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think you would really like Harry Potter. You need to watch the rest of the movies.
I just don't have time in my life for
What do you mean you don't have time?
It's not really like a time thing. It's more like, do I continue watching 6 more of these? Like, maybe I will make my way through them slowly when I'm like, I could watch a Harry Potter right now. But I'm not like just hankering to pop open my HBO Max.
I mean, it's pretty much the akin to watching a few seasons of a television show.
Yeah.
You know.
You can do it in a day.
But also, knowing Michael, he's not a big television guy, so it makes sense.
I quit on almost all the series.
Yeah. No,
especially in this modern streaming age where it takes like 3 years for a new season to come out.
Yeah.
Like I've already forgotten everything, and I don't want to review.
Yeah,
I'm not going back
for sure.
Harry Potter, maybe I'll watch another one, but I did leave this movie, and I was like, that was fine. I don't know if I need to watch 6 more of them.
Yeah. No, I mean and
that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like it's not my. I think I've missed the boat on this. We've said this before about movies. You had to be there. I feel like I missed the boat on it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Kaylin watched them later in life and loves them, so it's clearly different strokes for different folks. But for me, I was like, I get the appeal, but I don't need to see this saga to the end. I wasn't itching for that after the first one. And the story of the first one is a little like, well, it has to do a lot of setup. It's pretty front-loaded with a lot of, like, just getting Harry to Hogwarts and introducing Hogwarts to everyone.
Yeah.
And then the plot of the actual Sorcerer's Stone, I was kind of like, it just became, like, random MacGuffin.
It's definitely
Professor
the least
Quirrell?
interesting part of the film.
No, MacGuffin would just be, like, random object of power.
Got it. My bad.
Okay. Random MacGuffin.
I thought you were trying to pull out a name.
Professor MacGuffin.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what he is.
Yeah. Well, then let's move on to Let the Hate Flow Through.
I was asking myself, why is this white man in a turban so often? And they gave us the answer to that at the end of this movie. Yeah, we can ask, or we can go to the next segment where let's let the hate flow through you.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
So I kind of wanted to expand a little bit more on what you're kind of talking about, with just like the whole fleshing out the world aspect, where I kind of felt like it was just this constant kind of roller coaster of, Harry, you got to get this, and then you got to do this, and then you have to get your wand, and then you have to, it was like we have to go down the roller coaster and to get to the goal.
In Gringotts.
Yeah, it was a lot of that, and which is fine. Because, like you were saying, it's a setup for the world, and you kind of have to do that. But it felt like an RPG, like a game. These are all your quest lines, and this is what you have to do. These are all the items that you need to get before your character is full powered. It was just that kind of thing. And
Sneak past the magical creature using what tactic?
Using the whatever your invisibility cloak or something. It's like that kind of shit.
You will not like Hogwarts Legacy then.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. I've been playing that too, and it feels very much in line with the movies, where it's like that whole thing of fetch quests and that kind of stuff. But that could be a chore almost.
My biggest criticism of all the lore building that happens, like, I don't hate the lore itself, and this is probably a symptom of both being a children's book and being a book in general, is it does a lot of tell and show or tell and not show. But there's a lot of this movie that is people going, hey, this is the thing that's going on right now, I'm going to explain it to you. Or like, hey, this is the new place, I'm going to explain it to you. And not a lot of, like, you don't ever get the opportunity to just kind of pick up things as they go along.
Yeah.
It spells it out for you a lot.
Yeah.
Which, again, as a children's thing, makes sense. You maybe don't need to expect your 7-year-old to, like, pick up on subtler things.
Right.
But also, me as an adult man watching it, I'm like, can I have a little credit? Like, can we not talk through every little fucking detail of this movie all the time?
Yeah.
Like, can I ever just, like the sorting hat? Somebody has to explain the sorting hat. I feel like you could just put it on somebody's head and they say, this one's from Gryffindor, and you don't need a character to sit there and tell you that this is how this works.
Right, but to your point, like 6-year-old Kayla wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I'm just not the target audience.
There's more of what you're looking for when they grow up.
That's
why I
the
think you should
thing.
keep watching, Michael.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing, Kayla. It's like that. Although these kind of gripes are kind of more fleshed out in as you go, and so our gripes aren't as like serviceable, I guess, or like they don't land as hard just because there are so many more movies that do this for you.
And the ending of this movie definitely feels like and there will be more.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
It's not the end. So it's kind of hard to even review the one movie in itself because it is this continuous saga that is,
I would say as a self-contained thing, though, where it's like this is the movie that it introduces you to the world of Harry Potter, and it introduces you to all these characters, and I felt the magic for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think it did the same to a lot of other people as well. And so as its own thing, I think it's great. And I think there's a lot of work that went into it. And it did its job, which is to keep you invested into the next story. Maybe not for everybody, Michael, but I think it did its job.
The director of this is Chris Columbus, which just what a name. Also,
Home Alone.
Yeah, the director
Goonies.
of Home Alone. He's like the specialist of we're going to direct like a kid-led movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why or how. Like, it is a good.
He does a good
movie.
job. Yeah.
Like, I would rate this like 3 out of 5 stars in my adult head.
Yeah.
That's a positive review
That
for
is
me.
positive.
Like, I think it's a good movie. It did not like transform my life, and I'm not going to be thinking about it that much after this. But it is like I was like, this is solid. This is a good movie.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
But I'm not hooked, I guess.
Okay, but I also feel like you're the person that doesn't like nostalgia or holidays, because the other thing that's huge about this movie in particular is it's known for like being rewatched during this time of year, like as we enter Halloween and Christmas, because we go through the entire school year with them, and so we celebrate those holidays with them. Right. And like some people watch Harry Potter during Halloween because it's a little bit spooky. It's dark academia. It's giving
gothic,
Burberry. It's giving British fall. It's giving Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Another perfect movie I suggested.
True. It's just not. I'm not like moved. Like it was pretty good, but I'm not like I
think
was not transformed.
I think again, it's the whole thing where it's like you had to be there, you know. Yeah. And even I wasn't there, but I think also I like this kind of stuff where it's like the world building aspect. And I mean, I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings and just like fantasy in general. Game of Thrones is one of my favorite things ever. So it's like, you know, I think this is more so. I'm definitely part of that audience, and Michael, I can see where you would, you know, differ.
More his niche than mine. I'm not as into fantasy as he is.
I just love medieval stuff, and like even though this isn't medieval, but it's still in that same vein of like mysticism and fantasy and dark fantasy. I just love it so much, and the vibe of it is fantastic.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, is Ron making that final chess move, his Samwise Gamgee?
So
I can't carry your ring for you, but I'll carry you.
I think there's a little bit of that, but also I think one thing that I found interesting with Ron as you keep going, there's some jealousy and some animosity towards Harry.
So much
because
of that.
Harry is the chosen one and he's not.
He's a literal redhead.
Yeah,
like he is the outlier.
He's the butt of the joke, and like with everybody.
Because Hermione's the smart one, right? Like she figures out the plot for Harry to kind of do. Yeah. And so Ron questions his purpose. Like, why am I here? And it gets so complicated once they go through puberty and like romance starts brewing. Yeah. Oh my God.
Especially during like the Goblet of Fire.
Yes. Oh.
That's the whole, like,
I remember
their whole arc in that film.
Before I started swearing and they have that tiff and he goes, piss off. I was like, he said, piss off? Like, to me, that like shook my world of like, damn, like he dropped the mic, bro.
He said the P word.
He said the P word.
And and is it also a trope too that Harry doesn't really want any of this? Like, I think that's a big trope as well with the special boy. It's like not conforming to your destiny.
Yeah, my question for the future movies is mostly if they do interesting stuff with the special boy thing, because like that's how I felt after watching Dune Part 1, where I was like, I don't need another messianic figure in my life, and then Dune Part 2 is all about how he's literally the Antichrist. Yeah, like he is not the chosen one, or like how prophecy can be twisted and formed by the people in power. Yeah. And I'm curious. That's my curiosity, and I don't know if I believe, and I don't actually know if it does interesting things with that idea.
Does Harry have like a darker arc, like with himself, where he's kind of leaning more towards the darker side of witchcraft, or like I can't remember.
So can I just go into to explain? Okay, so the idea is the whole reason Harry's the chosen one is because the spell backfired. So Voldemort is in Harry. That's what the scar is. It connects them. And so / like the Tom Riddle theory. That's too much for you guys, I think. But like, essentially, Harry is part of Voldemort. Voldemort is part of Harry. They need each other to survive. So, and able to be like, Voldemort's trying to take over the world. He's trying to become like immortal. He's trying to
in the Force.
Like that's literally it. It's like there are these parallel good versus bad, but they need each other. And like Voldemort manipulates and plays on that a lot. And it's one of those things where he's trying to scare Harry, but he's also scared of Harry. It's like this very complex relationship between the two of them, and Harry like questions his identity because he's like, that's where that quote comes from. So he starts figuring that out in the second movie, and that's when Dumbledore talks about the choices. But so there's these things called Horcruxes, and so what happens is Voldemort splits out pieces of his soul to try to become immortal. So you have to defeat the Horcruxes and able to defeat Voldemort. The problem is Harry accidentally became a Horcrux on the night that the spell backfired. The spell backfired. You'll find this too cheesy because his parents' love was so strong for him that love overcame evil. So boom, that's why he has the lightning scar. But then Harry has to die. So it actually turns into like this Jesus thing where like Harry has to sacrifice himself to defeat Voldemort because he holds part of Voldemort's soul.
Mm-hmm. So that's another thing. As if we're talking about the split between good and evil, that's one kind of gripe I just have with a lot of storytelling in general, especially Lord of the Rings, and that's a gripe I have with it. It's too clear cut. where it's like, here's your bad guy, here's your good guys. There's nobody really in the middle. I mean, maybe you get that with Snape and different characters like that. Okay, well, yeah.
Bro.
They do that. I love every villain that does the you and me. Aren't we the same?
Yeah.
Are we two sides of the same coin?
Well, so
Speech is as old as time.
And that's why I like Game of Thrones, is because nobody is a good character. Like, nobody's good. Everybody is out for themselves, but you see good qualities within, like Jon Snow, or like just different characters like that, who it's the, and we'll get into this in Midnight Mass as well. It's like people who want to do good, but at the expense of like just being a rational human being, essentially.
Well, Snape as a character is, I keep saying complex because I can't think of anything else, but like, he is that gray character. He is an asshole, and he's an asshole because Harry looks like his dad, who bullied Snape. So Snape was in love with Harry's mom. This is like a whole story. When Snape is a double agent, and you don't find that out till later.
Till like the last couple movies, yeah.
And he gets killed, and it's horrendous. And as he's dying, Harry goes to try to save him, and his last words are, "You have your mother's eyes." Horrific. It is horrific. And he is that perfect, like, he's an asshole. You hate him. Like, no one likes Snape until you know the full story.
Yeah.
And then you feel bad for not liking him, right? He's plays on your emotions as a reader and a viewer of what is good, what is evil. Like, he has the ability to be even worse, but he's not even worse. So is he good?
Yeah.
Oh, Severus.
So I guess like it's kind of hard to review the first film as
too
one.
good, yeah.
It's too. There's too much involved, and
in
there's
this
too
movie,
much after.
Snape was like a lot of stuff gets recontextualized as we get the reveal that Turban Man is actually the big bad, and we kind of always think Snape is it all along the way.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of like, he's playing pretty broadly, like this guy. This gothic-looking guy, like he seems like bad news. Head of Slytherin seems like bad news. A lot of that, like the scene when Harry's sneaking around in the invisibility cloak and he walks past Snape confronting Turban Man.
Yeah,
and he reaches out and misses touching him. All that stuff is like pretty broad and pretty like, oh, this guy, he's got some dark energy to him. Clearly, like he's not on the. He's not as simply good as your Dumbledore or your McGonagall.
Minerva, or your Hagrid. Like, I feel like Hagrid is the most pure, and that's like why he hits home with so many people. Is he's just this big bumbling guy who's like, pure. I mean, I hear what you're saying about the first scene you see, because it's meant to be like what's happening, right?
And he's an intimidating figure,
and that's kind of like. The fun part of it is he's so intimidating. He's so giant, but he's just like Santa.
Gentle.
He's literally Santa Claus, right? Like, oh, you're rich. Let's go get you a broom, like, and an owl, you know.
Inevitably remake the Harry Potter movies. It's going to be Dave Bautista
They'll never do that.
in a bunch of Harry makeup.
They're making a series out of it.
Well, a series, but not a.
They're not remaking films,
right.
But they're doing a series with all different actors, and I don't see the.
Is this another Amazon Prime project?
Probably.
They're just like, we're going to make our Lord of the Rings show that nobody wants to watch.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about Rings of Power.
Have you?
I've heard nothing but.
I tried really hard to finish the first season. So
the anti-woke mob absolutely hates it just because black elves and black hobbits and women.
Oh God.
Women everywhere. People, they're just stupid.
Really.
Yeah. Dumbasses, and so that's their gripes, and I think that's where a lot of the negative stuff comes from. But I've watched it, and I don't like it. There's just certain aspects of it that just are not good.
I started out liking it, and I couldn't finish the first season. I got like 6 episodes in, and I was like, I'm just not gonna do this anymore.
No,
I don't care. And then there was some stat where like it was like 70% of the viewership never like made it to the finale of season 1.
Really?
By the time that season 2.
It's just not like a very good show. Some of the acting is a little iffy, and
my issue is more just that it's meandering and feels like it's taking up space instead of like telling a story. It's like we have 8 episodes to fill, so what are we going to do? We're going to
Yeah.
spin some plates until we like have the plot move forward again.
Sure.
Which is, I think, a symptom of a lot of these, especially like hour-long.
On the Amazon HBO trains.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like that are just like, we have 8 hours of space. How do we fill that time or whatever?
Is what is so special about The Legend of Vox Machina, because the story's already told. So they're just chunking up the stories into seasons. The story's already there.
Is this a live action show?
No.
Anime?
It's an animated Critical Role campaign. It's called The Legend of Vox Machina. Season 3 comes out this Thursday, Kayla, and I really want you to watch it.
Vox Machina. Okay.
It's so good. It's so funny. And you don't really need to know D&D to get it.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Oh, it's D&D. Okay.
Yes.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
The one thing I will give the Harry Potter series is Ralph Fiennes is one of my favorite actors, and he's hardly in this movie, and I know he's going to be in more of the future ones. I feel about him like I think you feel about Willem Dafoe, where I just like kind of want to see him do stuff because I love him.
Who does he play?
He's Voldemort.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, so he's so good as Voldemort. Like the fourth movie is my personal favorite out of the series because
What's the title?
Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
It's the Tri-Wizard Cup. So it's like the Olympics, but like deadly, and it's really sick. It's kind of, you feel like it's not related to the story, and then it's like, oh, fuck. Like, that's the turning point of, oh, it's a kid's, and there's some spook to like, shit is about to go down. Like, it's that turning point of, it's no longer child's play. Like, we are moving forward into some really dark shit.
Also, Brendan Gleeson is in Goblet of Fire.
Oh, is he Victor Crumb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of like the shtick or whatever. In every Harry Potter movie, there's a new Defense of the Dark Arts teacher. And it's kind of the thing
That's
where
my
it's just
one
like it always
complaint.
ends up really bad for them in every single movie. And so they have a new teacher every
Who's that
every
in
movie.
this one?
The Quirrell.
Quirrell? Oh,
Yeah.
he's Defense of the Dark
Yeah,
Arts because
so-
Snape is potion making.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he
So-
says he wants that role.
Which is amazing because he eventually becomes the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher and gets killed in that movie.
Yeah.
So that is like my one complaint of like, it's easy to tell who the new bad guy is because it's whoever is like
whoever's the
introducing the professor of the Defense
for
of the Dark Arts.
Yeah.
So.
No, but Brendan Gleeson is really great. And,
I do love Brendan Gleeson as well. All right, should we ask our final question? This may be contentious.
Yeah.
Is this a perfect movie?
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way. I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother. And he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
So I'm I really. So we also have another category that we haven't used as much, but it's the you had to be there category. And I'm more inclined to put it in that, but I could also see how this could be a perfect movie as well. But I want to hear more what you guys have to say.
Kayla, just unspool it. You already know that I said this was a 3 out of 5 star movie, so this is not a perfect movie in my opinion. I think it's pretty good, and I think it delivers on the goods, I assume, because I haven't read the book. Like, it's doing the thing it's asked, but sometimes that's a 3-star task. Like, adapting this children's fantasy novel was a 3-star task to me. Like, maybe it could have been a 5-star, but the story as written, I don't think has that capacity. Like, I don't find this singular story that compelling.
Sure.
It might be compelling in the long saga.
Yeah.
But this story in and of itself, it's cute. It's got some charm. Some stuff happens. It is not like this magic. Like, it is not this.
It's not a standalone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And we did induct the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy because it felt weird to do one of those.
Yeah.
We could not do that right now just because still have 6 more films to watch. But like
Yeah.
that is a possibility that could happen at the end where we just say Harry Potter as a collection is a perfect series.
Yeah. I think it's done one of those things that, and this is the series in total, where not a lot of series can do, which is make decent films back to back.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of these have really been critically panned.
No.
But I think maybe there's like one of them that wasn't as well received.
Half-Blood Prince was
Yes.
a little...
But it's not like the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Right, where it just gets worse.
Or like
Yeah.
even Twilight too, which has always kind of been bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't sit there and say that those are good films. They are like definitely a part of like a time where people definitely were in love with them, but you can't watch that and be like, this is compelling. I'm sorry, you can't.
They're just not.
No offense. Anyways, you know what film franchise like fell off the radar and never really returned that tried to do the same thing as Harry Potter was like the Chronicles of Narnia.
I was gonna say Narnia was closer to because I was in a Christian household. That was like
that was the one that
Harry
we could
Potter.
watch.
I remember watching The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and being like, "This is pretty magical."
Because Aslan is Jesus.
Yeah. And
Didn't you play Mr. Beaver in a
yeah, I did
stage production?
You did, Mr. Beaver?
I played Mr. Beaver as Sean Connery.
No way.
So I was. So I talked like this the whole time.
I feel like he would be the fawn from Narnia, right?
I
Give him some
remember
goat.
You already
when
made this joke on the last episode she was on, I think.
Give him some goat
He's
legs,
Mr.
man.
Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus
You are
is
Mr.
crazy.
Tumnus.
Where's your flute, buddy? Start playing that flute and
Oh God.
making little kids pass
Seems
out.
a bit cold out here, little girl. Would you like to come to my shack?
Would you like some? He gave her some biscuits and then just played her some music, and she fucking knocked
Yeah.
out.
And then he roofied her with a song.
The Bill Cosby equivalent to Narnia, I guess. Or whatever.
I put some special stuff in the soup. Zip, zap,
Zip zap zoo, pudding pops.
Have you seen the Cosby Show episode where he's like, I put the special ingredient in the
I
secret
didn't watch
sauce?
the
Oh,
Cosby
God.
Show.
Look, the Cosby Show was really great until we learned that the man behind it was a monster. But it was a great show.
He's
while
also the man behind Fat Albert. This is a beloved children's cartoon.
Speaking of things backed by a monster, Harry Potter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, separating the art from the artist. Obviously, she's kind of a terrible person, but she made a compelling novel or a group of
Just
novels.
a masterclass in fumbling the bag and goodwill.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, well, let me just loudly say my unpopular opinions constantly.
Well, that's yeah.
Well, she's one of those ones that never got with the times ever. But the thing is, she's partially responsible for a revival of children reading books again. Because in the 90s, this came out. First Harry Potter came out in 97.
Nope, 95.
Really?
What?
No, 90.
I thought they came in much closer.
Wait. No, you're right. I'm sorry. It came out in 97. Harry was born in 93.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry.
yeah, the books came out in 97. Children kind of started reading books again after she dropped a banger. So shout out to her for that.
Yeah.
But fuck you for all the other kind of stuff. Yeah.
So these gold goblins. If I was to tell you one race runs the banking system, who would you say? Who would you say that is? Untrustworthy.
I really want to say it, but I'm not going to do it.
Golden. I'm confused.
Okay.
I'm talking about the goblins that run the banks.
Why do you
And they
have
Oh,
those-
gold.
the
gold
goblins, the
Got
bank
it. I
goblins?
thought you were talking about like there were
No,
golden
they were not golden.
Yes.
And you know what the smoking gun of all this is? Do you know what's in the center of the lobby of the bank? A six-pointed
David.
star.
Oh God!
Yeah.
If you could be any more on the nose.
It's like Jesus Christ. I mean, she was not in charge, I'm sure, of the production design decisions.
Well,
of
it's
this
like
movie.
it's like
That's
Harry.
what
It's
she
like
wrote
George
about.
Lucas with anything on Tatooine.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
Star Wars connection. Watto,
Well,
the junk dealer.
We all were like retrospectively, we should have figured this out when there's one Asian character named Cho Chang.
Oh, one thing about Harry Potter that I was like, this is a little fucked up. The black kid. There's like one black kid.
Oh, Blaze.
yeah, and he's sitting at the table. There's a big ass tray of chicken in front of him. I was like, motherfucker.
Is he the guy that does the play-by-play for Quidditch? Because he's good
No,
at that.
no. Is it
No,
him?
That
it's
is-
a
well,
little
there
white
is.
boy.
There's
Okay.
there's a little black boy that is doing the Quidditch play-by-play. He's the only black person I saw in the
Maybe
whole
it
movie.
is Blaze.
Oh well,
then.
maybe. But there's another black kid. Whoever
No,
this
there's
kid was.
only one.
But he
There's
was at the
only one.
table, and he's like, there's this whole spread everywhere, and this kid is just like dancing in front of this giant ass platter of like chicken drummies. I'm like, bro, seriously?
I'm Blaze with chicken, Harry Potter.
I swear to God, there was like a big ass plate of like chicken drumlets or something in front of that shit, and I was like, bro.
Oh, wait. I'm wrong. So Blaze, they had to fire. That was one weird thing. They fired a child actor because they were I don't remember what happened, but then he just was black. Like they hired a black actor to take over.
Well,
the
he was
part of
he was
Blaze.
probably late.
Too woke.
Did you get late? He was late to set because
He's black.
black people are historically late.
Historically,
I can attest to this.
I didn't
Kayla was late today.
I was late today.
I'm uncomfortable commenting. So it was not Blaze in the first movie. Is my
Oh, the
point.
characters
Also,
that I don't like
If
are
the one black character's name is Blaze, are you fucking kidding me?
He couldn't have a regular name. His name is Tyrone.
His name is.
Like he could have been Cho Chang.
Cho Chang is crazy.
It's the one Asian character.
Okay, the two characters I don't like are those twins.
And
They're
she's
annoying
in-
as shit.
Fred and George.
They're so annoying. They're like, yeah.
We do sports, bro.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
I didn't
They're
mind
They
terrible.
don't do
I didn't mind
any
them.
sports.
They're the Quidditch.
They're the
They're on
commentators.
the Quidditch team. No,
think
they're not the commentators.
They are commentators later on, I
Oh,
believe.
well, they're on the
They're
Quidditch
just
team in this movie.
tricksters.
They're on
Yeah,
the Quidditch
they're
team
not-
in this movie.
Okay, Oliver Wood.
Yeah,
Wood?
Wood.
Okay. Don't know. I don't recall.
Oliver Wood is the captain.
Oh,
Is he a hottie?
he is kind of
certified
He's
baddie?
cutie.
Certified baddie. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot about the custodian. He's great.
Oh my god.
He's
And
also
his
another
cat.
like big British guy. He was in Game of Thrones. He's in a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Why can't I think
he's
of his
great.
name?
He's the crotchety custodian.
I love him.
Yeah, he's great.
/ child murderer. He's like, if you're out past midnight, my dog will fucking murder you.
Imagine waking up and looking like that every day.
Oh, Filch.
That'd be crazy. Filch. Yeah.
Filch.
Um,
I was thinking Finch, and I'm like, I know that's not right.
No, that's the Tom Hanks movie on Apple TV Plus where he befriends a robot.
Okay, thank you for that.
When I tell you Apple
Also
TV
a
Plus
Predator.
has all the things people have never watched.
So have you watched that? The Finch thing?
No, I just
Okay.
know that it's called Finch.
Okay.
It's like a dark void where they like hire all these talented people to make movies that nobody will ever see in TV shows.
I'm not the biggest Tom Hanks fan. I think he was good in Forrest Gump, but I don't really care for him in anything else.
What
Toy
about
Story?
Captain Phillips?
I mean, he was the captain.
You would have Captain now.
But,
Toy Story.
I mean,
Polar Express.
That's voice work. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
cannot
but it's
abide
fine.
by any of his Tom Hanks slander. Lately, he's slandered
He's also like a
Tom
predator.
Hanks in The Matrix,
Isn't-
and those are just
he's
two
like
things
it's like a thing where he's like a predator too, or people think he's like
Tom Hanks is
creep.
not. Tom Hanks is a
I don't
holier
know.
than thou.
I can tell you he's not because weird thing. I used to work at a gym in undergrad. My job was to train a new girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't say her name because I was like, you look so familiar. She's like, really? And so I kept talking like, what did you do in high school? Why? And she's like, well, I grew up in Illinois. I was like, so I never would have met you. Why do you look so familiar? I have a thing where I'm really good friends with all janitors. They can tell that I was a janitor once. They love me. So I was good friends with the janitor at this gym. I'll never forget the day because I told the janitor, I said, new girl looks so familiar and I can't figure out why. He said, it's so weird you said that. I felt the same way. And I'm like, there's no way that this janitor and I would have felt like, how do we know this girl, right? Janitor comes busting in one day. He's like, I figured it out, Kayla. I'm like, what? He said, I was talking to new girl. Her uncle is Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow.
She looks like Tom Hanks. And I'm
crazy.
like, holy shit, she looks like Tom Hanks. That is why she looks familiar. She
That's
looked
crazy.
just like him.
That's nuts.
I can pull her up on Facebook right now.
Yeah,
to prove.
let's show us that. Oh, I went to Hollywood. I didn't tell you guys. I
yeah.
haven't told my Hollywood stuff.
Kaylin's vacation story segment.
Oh, you were in Cali?
I was in California.
I said we're not going to make a 2-hour podcast. We're on our way.
It's all right. Maybe we can split this into a part tour. Who knows? I went to Hollywood, Los Angeles. It's about as crazy. It's dirty as shit. It's about as nutty as you could possibly think. I mean,
I heard it's too woke. Did you feel like it was too
I
woke
thought it
over
was
there?
too woke. There's a little like too many black people walking around.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Too many women. And I just thought there should be more white males walking around.
Exactly. You're speaking to me right now. Thank you, Kaylin.
And so, so I saw the giant church of, let me, hold up. I can't, maybe not from that picture.
Let me see Tom. I'm not seeing it.
Time out.
Maybe the
Pull
smile.
up a picture of Tom Hanks right now.
Are we going to do a side-by-side investigation? Is this Tom Hanks' niece?
the nose.
I mean, in the way that all white people look alike. Yes.
Okay. Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Did they let you in?
No, they didn't.
Jesus Christ, Michael.
It's a giant castle, basically, and it's walled off, and it's got this giant sign on it that says
Was Tom
Church of
Cruise dangling from the top?
Tom Cruise was actually, he was on a plane flying past. He was like
parachuted
dangling off.
in.
He was like, I'm Tom Hanks. Hey.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Hanks would not
Tom
survive
Hanks.
parachuting out of a plane at this point.
I didn't see any celebrities. I did see that Mexican rapper.
Oh,
walking around.
Mexican
Mexican
OT?
OT. I saw him at the airport. He walked right past me.
Did he go skibbity bobbity boo boo boo?
No, but he was wearing a cowboy hat. It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
But I saw him. Anyways,
That's how
went
he
to the
raps.
Hollywood sign, did the whole Los Angeles thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I saw a woman butthole sunning
Yeah.
in broad daylight.
Sun in the
It's supposed to be
starfish.
really good.
I
for
mean,
your body.
obviously it has to be broad daylight.
That's what Joe Rogan
That is
says.
not true.
Sunning the starfish?
Yeah.
That is
No,
not.
I mean that butthole sunlight is good for you.
That's not true.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's not. Because you can get the same amount of vitamin D if you're just outside. You don't
Absolutely.
actually if you expose your butthole, you're more likely to get sunburnt and
Or
fucking
cancer.
or cancer. Yes, because you're getting too
Butthole
many
cancer.
UV radiation inside of your butthole, like that, and your butthole never sees the light of day. So if you expose that part of your body, your body's gonna go into shock, basically. Anyways, this lady she was like literally spread full eagle, and we were driving, and we all just like, what the hell? And we drove by really slow. We were just like, and I saw
And
into
Kaylin's eyes went awooga.
no, I saw into the nether. It was just a.
It was high up.
I went into the abyss.
I was in the bookcase from the end of Interstellar.
No,
And
literally.
I was like, Murph, Murph.
Like we gotta warn Merv.
Don't butthole saying Murph.
Somewhere across the universe, Merv is going Eureka. She's throwing papers in the sky. Yeah. Anyways, saw that. That was pretty nuts.
Murph.
We went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it was just the grimiest place on earth. You would think that they would take care of like the Hollywood Boulevard, like the whole fucking thing. You would think they would take care of that, but there's like literally homeless people frothing at the mouth, like laying on the sidewalk, and like it was just disgusting. It smelled like poop.
Well,
You know-
it's close to Skid Row.
It's like
isn't
right.
it?
It's like a
Like
couple blocks
blocks
down.
away.
Yeah.
You know, my local Taco Bell used to have like a lot of like homeless vagrants hanging around. And I went there recently, and they were just blasting like metal music through the speakers outside, and they'd put up all these like rocks near the building, so I think people couldn't sit, and that's how we fix homelessness is just blasting metal music at
or
11
putting
a.m.
a fence around stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or making the bus stop benches slanted.
You know, we could change the core issues. Maybe have a healthcare system that works so people who like need mental health help don't and lose their jobs don't like fall off the wagon and end up on the streets. Or you could put up a fence under the bridge. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, people?
No, but I mean it was grimy. I saw a couple, notable stars. I also saw Gypsy Rose's star. Apparently, she's got a star. Why? Gypsy Rose, the girl who murdered her mom, she's got a series on Hulu.
She's like pregnant now.
Yeah, she's got a whole reality show now because she murdered her mommy, and she talked like this. She's like,
Hi, I'm the Gypsy Rose, and I have cancer.
I'm actually proud of you that you don't know about
yeah,
this.
I don't know.
She's awful.
Like
0% of any of these like true crime people.
Yeah.
Don't know.
It was a
Oh,
big.
yeah, you're very
it was a
anti-true
big
crime.
thing in like 2020 that her whole series came out or whatever.
Because she
anyways,
was just released from prison.
Yeah,
this
she was
past
just
year.
released from prison. She's got a star for whatever reason. It's not warranted.
That makes me hate humanity so much. Actually,
L.A. It felt, and we went to like Rodeo Drive where all the rich people are.
So does
and
former
Hollywood
president
Hills.
and WWE Hall of Famer Donald J. Trump.
What about him?
He is a Hollywood star.
Wait,
Oh, yeah, he
Trump
does.
is a WWE Hall of Famer.
Just literally because he showed up on a couple episodes and is friends with Vince McMahon.
Oh, that makes sense though, because they're both predators.
Yeah.
So, let's not get started with Trump. But
They're eating your dogs.
I mean, I just got done eating a German Shepherd.
Stop.
I called it shepherd's pie.
Delicious.
It was delicious and nutritious, and I feel very like
Woof woof.
spry today.
Yeah.
I think it's because of that German Shepherd. So shouts out to the dogs. because they nourish me.
I'm glad you are here, Caleb.
Thanks. Anyways, Hollywood was an anomaly, and I will never go back. Good. The traffic there is insane. They have like 6-lane highways everywhere, and it took like an hour to get down the street. It was pretty nuts. I was like, how do people live here? No, I'm good. Never go back.
The least realistic part of GTA is that you can drive speedily around LA.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing about GTA was the only reason I knew anything in LA was like I saw this in GTA.
Yeah,
man. Like, and I knew where I was. I was like driving around. I was like, all right,
everybody
if you go down here, it's Grove Street. If you go up here, you're gonna get
wild.
to. Yeah.
Everybody from LA is like, it is the layout just shrunken.
Yeah,
like they're like,
is.
oh, this is that corner. Like,
yeah,
that is that.
That's funny.
That plaza or whatever.
You can pick up that prostitute right there.
Right there.
I definitely just like ran over a guy over here. Yeah. No. We'll never go back to Los Angeles. But I'm glad I saw it.
I'm going back to Cali.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I don't know why, but I was just looking up GTA 5 Lamar clips recently, and I was like, is he just one of the funniest?
He's hilarious.
Like, fictional characters ever?
He's like that yee ass haircut.
You get rid of those yee ass haircut. Get some bitches on your dick.
Nigga. Sorry.
GTA 5, honestly, while it rips from many movies, there are some of the like funniest writing
it is hilarious
in history.
It is hilarious.
So,
like when Michael's son, he meets Trevor and he's like, I didn't use that word. I wouldn't.
I would like to point out that you said you were going to beg me to make sure that this podcast didn't go super long. And I just want to point out that the two of you have now just spent about 10 minutes talking about LA and GTA 5, which I would argue has nothing to do with the Harry Potter universe.
Okay, Hollywood movies.
You could do it on any
I saw the Paramount Studios.
7 degrees of separation from Harry Potter.
The Kevin Bacon theory.
Yeah.
No, I say all that to say that Hollywood is nothing like it's depicted in media. Everything is so like star-studded and mystical, and oh my God, you need to come to LA. It's the land of opportunity, and you can make it out here. And I could see why people get stuck out there because that's pit, and it's disgusting.
Sounds disgusting.
And yeah, it was definitely like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I've gone there, I've seen it. This is nothing special. It's just a place. Yeah. So don't all you like want to be starlets and stars. It's not worth it, bro. Just keep working 9 to 5. You'd be great.
Keep making them Subway sandwiches.
Somebody's got to do it. I'm about to go to Subway right after this.
I don't think anyone eats Subway.
I do.
I also, well, not often. It's maybe twice a year.
Okay,
ever since they stopped being a $5 footlong place, I'm like, why am I paying more money for your?
You are paying like $18. It's crazy.
It's
if
wild.
you get like the chips and the soda. Or
Thanks,
whatever.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Where's Trump when you need him, right?
He would have fixed that inflation immediately.
We have the best sandwiches.
We have concepts of a plan.
We have the greatest sandwiches. They lied about our sandwiches not being that good. I think they're great. We have the best sandwiches ever. I got to work on my Trump impression for sure.
I go to McDonald's and I order a Big Mac and 2 fish fillets.
When the NFL All-Stars come to my place, all we eat is McDonald's. It's great. They love it. They love the Big Mac.
What? You won the national championship. Here's Wendy's.
Next year, I think we might switch it up and do Taco Bell. I don't know. Thinking about it.
I don't know. Melania, she hates Taco Bell.
She also hates me, so it's okay.
Gives me terrible gas. That's your future president for the next 4 years. I'm just warning y'all.
Kamala. Last week she was Indian, but today she decided she was a black person.
How does that work?
Yeah, she just woke up one day and decided she was a black person.
Remember? He was like, I have crowd sizes bigger than Martin Luther King. The people, they don't leave my rallies because I've been saying the same shit for 8 straight years. Okay, Harry Potter, not a perfect movie. Kayla, you're welcome back whenever you'd like. Really, we're doing more Halloween stuff. Maybe when we do Harry Potter 2,
You never asked for my opinion on if it's a perfect
Oh, is it a perfect
Is it a
movie?
perfect
Sorry.
movie, Kayla?
Yes.
Well, all right.
You're a guest. So.
Thank you.
Your opinion really doesn't matter. We just kind of have you on. No,
this is a 3/5 compromise. And you're the
okay, I think
vote.
we should put it in the category of you had to be there.
You did have to be there. I think if I watched this in 2001 as a 6-year-old, I would have been like, you know, I would have gone cross-eyed how excited I was.
I hated that face you just made. Oh my God.
But today, not so much.
Oh, no.
We already gave you a perfect movie before. So I think it kind of...
I scored 2 perfect movies.
What was the other one?
Twilight.
Puss in Boots?
Twilight was not elected to the perfect movie. It absolutely was not.
Oh, no, actually...
Did I have more fun watching Twilight?
Mad Max.
Mad Max, yes.
Yeah, that was a unanimous thing.
That was our movie that we invited you upon.
Well, that's very true.
Every guest gets one.
Fury Road was destined to be a perfect movie. That's one of our favorite movies,
I
collectively.
didn't pick this.
No,
that's
didn't.
true.
So-
I did. I'm responsible. But
What's your next one? What are you doing?
So
What's on the lineup?
I don't know what's going to come out next. We're going to record Donnie Darko.
And then we're
I've
doing
never seen that.
Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
We're going to do Sweeney Todd, and then...
We have some more guests coming on.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh my God.
And then I
guess?
think it's up in the air.
And then maybe...
My friend John and Andrew, they're coming on.
Oh,
I don't think...
yeah.
I don't
They
know
were
if
the
you've
ones who did...
We did Hulk
Nacho
and-
Libre.
No, that was Dakota.
Oh, was
Dakota's coming on for Donnie Darko.
Oh, nice.
But
that's fun.
It was Hulk and then No
Tell them to
Country
say
for
hello.
Old Men for John and Andrew.
okay.
But they're going to come back on for Sweeney Todd. And then I
Sweeney
think
Todd's a
we're
good
doing
one,
a
bro.
special about Midnight Mass. It's a Mike Flanagan
Yeah,
series
yeah.
on HBO.
You ever seen
Or not
that?
HBO,
No,
Netflix.
you told me I should watch
You
it,
need
though.
to watch it. It's
about
I
the
watched.
vampires.
I just rewatched it this weekend, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It's so good.
I feel like Michael hyped it up so much that I didn't want to watch it anymore.
Well, here's the thing: is all your favorite horror movies are like spook bump in the night movies, and this show really is not. It's about the ideas of like religion, and then on the side there's a horror thing,
and that's Mike Flanagan's
And
whole
that
thing,
kinda-
where it's like the horror stuff takes a sideline for the characters, and they're like their horror within their own life.
So-
but there's still a paranormal aspect.
It's like Lord of the Flies. It's like...
Huh?
Lord
no,
of the Flies?
I don't think so. Is it? No.
I know Lord of the Flies is.
There's
the
no
kids
paranormal aspect, though.
Are stuck at.
Yeah. Well, it's the idea
On the
that, like,
island.
humans are the real scary thing.
Well, yeah, there's that.
But it's
There's
more about faith. Like it's on an island that's mostly like very Catholic.
Island.
And
Interesting. Lord of the Flies.
Okay, well, yeah.
And then there's like a Muslim sheriff that becomes a big character, and then there's like our atheist main character for the first few episodes.
But it's like you have all these conflicting like ideologies, but it's not bias.
Like in the middle of the show, there's like 30 minutes dedicated to 2 primary characters talking about what happens when we die.
When you die, and it's the most beautiful monologue you could ever hear. It's
an atheist and a Catholic.
It's fantastic. I love it so much.
So it is a horror show, but it's more about.
Did you grow up religious?
Yeah, I'm Lutheran.
Okay, so then you'll relate to this. Me and Michael, this kind of hit us hard because we really related.
Grew up
to,
like... You grew up, like, scary Christian, though,
Well,
right?
not like
me more so
I think,
than Kayla.
Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
it was definitely conservative.
We're closing in on our Dead Poets Society runtime, which we recorded about an hour 50. This is about an hour 40.
So we got 10 more minutes.
I don't. Shall we call it a wrap?
Sure.
Kayla, you're welcome back anytime. If any of those later movies and you got time in October, we'd love to have you back. If you'd love to do, I think Pan's Labyrinth is the open one, or
Yeah,
we don't have enough.
Or
room
watch
to do
Midnight Mass and come back on for that.
No.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not really that bad of a commitment. It's 7 episodes.
Yeah. I wanna watch it
And
anyways.
it's like an hour long a piece. Like it's really good though, and you're gonna trust me, you'll like it. And I think you should come back on for that.
Okay. Sounds good. I will.
Harry Potter.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's not inducted into the perfect movie list, but I'm open to the possibility if I ever get through the series where we say the Harry Potter series can be perfect.
Yeah.
right now as a standalone. I just don't think Harry Potter 1 is the solid enough story to be like this itself is a perfect
Well, I'm glad
movie.
you finally watched it though. At least
Yeah.
At least now you can say you've seen a Harry Potter film.
I've watched a Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Now you need to take that quiz, the
Okay.
official quiz, and know what house
And then
you
for
are.
the next time, they'll come back to us.
Find out if I'm Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Slytherin,
Or Ravenclaw.
or Ravenclaw. On our fucking Donnie Darko episode.
Yeah, I guess.
Until then.
Okay, bye.
Adios.
Big watch, big clothes, yo, bad, bad, whole gang, 100 shots, how that go? Big, what, big Draco, slide through the cut, 50 shots, you know what's happening.